Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Vera.
And we got Fabian with us today. And he's got his Discovery 3. And we want to replace his intercooler hoses with new ones.
Silicone ones. Hope you enjoy the video.
And really, this is a maintenance portion you better do before the Discovery is broken, because you're gonna get stranded. The big hose is very easy to be replaced. It takes only 15 minutes. The medium hose, because you gotta take the wheel arch out, so you are more like an hour and a half. And then this little tiny hose is a thing on its own. You see us taking this in and out on a Sunday morning. What we're gonna do first is disable the air suspension. Second one.
Usually it's the third one.
F26, third one from the bottom up. We'll disable it. This way the car isn't acting up when we raise it. Amazon quality. It's a little scary.
It makes different sounds than ours.
Yeah.
Oh,
how the shock looks? No, ours doesn't look that bad.
No, in the back where the boot on
it looks... That's not a problem. This cable is stretched. See that?
Yeah.
Installed wrong. That's what you get. To this side, you actually don't need to take the wheel off, but we take it off so it's easier to film. Do you know what we are making today inside? I think a rose, right?
What? Yes.
We're making a rose today.
He's making a rose.
I would never ever put lubrication on wheel nuts, okay? Because they don't accept the torque then correctly. So lug nuts should be rust-free and clean, but I'm not a friend of lubrication. You get your finger all messed up. The tool I'm most proud of. See? How easy they come out with this tool.
Oh, you're gonna make them, and I'm gonna sell them in our future shop.
Yeah, and make them with like 4 days per tool, and then you sell them for 15 cents. So we take this cover off. Like this tool works perfect, and there is nothing like it. And here is the hose, and it's completely full of oil.
Yeah.
This is very typical. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. It's not the right thing to do on a Land Rover. Once we got new hoses fitted, we're gonna have to see that this stays dry. If it doesn't, it needs a new intercooler. Okay, see, I need my little step. And in order to get this hose off here, we're gonna make a little bit of room, because we also want to see how the serpentine belt is. You can actually get all this out without taking anything out here. Yeah. Here, give me the camera.
I'm gonna start crying.
Look. Look. He can barely look over it. How is that gonna work? Here. And this way we can see if this hose, when we install the new one...
You wanna take the camera and look?
Yeah. When we install the new hose, we can see if it's rubbing here when we take all this stuff out. And you can see it's rubbing down there on a coolant hose. So this is why it's a good idea to take more plastic out than necessary. Okay, always put something into the intake here. You never know what your wife drops in there. Yeah, we'll take the intake hose off. These are for sure original, 180,000 kilometers. They get really soft over time. Give me some room, please.
Yes.
Wrong side.
I'm gonna be on the step now.
Okay, we're down here.
Oh.
We're down up there. We're down here now. Come. Here, you gotta go over here. Okay, so this is really easy. So there's the old hose. So Fabian bought silicone hoses. Yeah? And it is a big discussion if you really need silicone hoses on something like this. And my opinion is no, you don't. But you got one big advantage when you use silicone hoses. Then you can see that they got replaced, and they do last a lot longer than the original hoses. So when you have them installed and you buy a car, you know you won't have to touch them. Versus when you have these installed and you buy a car, you never know how old they are. So you will have to replace them, and they may only be half the miles old your car is. And they do break. If you want to go on a big trip to Mongolia, like Fabian wants to do, it's a good idea to go with the silicone hoses. Look at all this stuff in here. There are all sorts of hose clamps missing. See how all this is rattling?
Oh my God.
Here, this is terrible. That's if you have your car in a shop. They break all the hoses and latches and little fasteners, and then they don't replace them. And then you got stuff like this happening. And this is of course dangerous because it can rub through. When you would look on ours, there is not a single hose loose. Leaking intercoolers are the #1 problem when you have black smoke. Everybody can see a broken hose, but if the intercooler is leaking, you don't really see it. It could be leaking anywhere, and it could be leaking very minimal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, versus a hose rips open and it's completely destroyed, but an intercooler can have a minute little crack, and you can drive it like this for years. Nice and clean. So all I got to do is stick this now down in there. There we go. This one is for here, and this one is for the bottom. The connections are supposed to be oil-free. Set the hose clamps conveniently where you can get to them later on nicely. When you're over in Mongolia. Beautiful. And one on the tongue.
Yeah, but you still have to close it.
Yeah, but I will.
Like with a screwdriver.
There we go. Use high quality hose clamps, not the cheap ones from China. And we tighten the other one. So large hose, small problems. Medium hose, medium problems. Small hose, big problems. And in order to get this thing off, there is a bolt behind this headlight. And in order to get the headlight out, we take the grill out, which is really easy on a Discovery. And the plug off. There is a bolt here, and it's missing, see? Now we take this liner out. We take all these out, just a matter of minutes. You're gonna have to film this, or I have to replace you with a tripod. It's one of those things where you say, we knew that after we found it, right? And here is the second intercooler hose. The second one is behind all these sheet metal pieces. Yeah. And that's very difficult.
Oh, it's behind here?
Yes.
That's gonna be a pain.
Now we got this one off. There. And this is the object of our desire. In order to get the second hose out, so we're gonna get this heat shield out first, which has 3 bolts. One here, and one here. It's gonna come off now. Yeah. If you bend it like crazy, it's hard to get it back on. I gotta take all these cables here off because I'm afraid when I work back there that I'm gonna destroy something. Don't exactly know. See? And this is then the last thing we're gonna put in. And that one also is sprayed with WD-40 from the backside so it doesn't seize. Because you don't want to deal with a seized bolt where you can't get to it. Now I get the second heat shield out, and again, not with any force, because I'm bending it. If I'm using any force, I just wiggle it out. Okay? There's a little bit of patience, no bending. There it is. There it is. This is the hose. Back here, see?
I don't think, no, I see only.
This is the hose. Back here.
Oh, I see only your hand.
Yes.
Oh, there.
This is the hose we need to take out. Yeah. Yeah, this is very, very difficult.
Break anything.
See, there's no oil.
Yeah.
That's good. Don't want to rip on those cables. Yeah. Now I got this one out. There. This one would have lasted another long time. There's a spot where it was rubbing. You can feel it.
And it's really thin here too.
Yeah, it's thin.
Here.
So that's always risky. This pipe, we have to loosen it up in order to gain some room to get this out over here. The most difficult part of this repair is to get the mounting bracket from this intercooler pipe off. There are 2 bolts. I got one out here, 2 nuts. You can see here. So I got one out with a socket and an extension. But the second one, the socket don't fit, so I'm using a ratchet wrench, 10 millimeter. And there it is. So that took about 25 minutes to get these 2 out. It's always good to spend a little bit more time taking stuff off instead of breaking stuff. You want to be able to see what you're doing at least a little bit. And I probably don't even have to take it out. I just lower it away a little bit. And now I can peek through here. See here how this is fitted? I can get there. Spray something on there. And this is the moment of no return. This is when the airplane reaches a certain spot on the landing strip and it can't stop anymore. And down here is sensor and crap. We don't want to destroy anything. That's always the goal. See there? And this gives me now enough room to get this connection pipe here. I want to get rid of this plastic for a moment. Take this out. So this is about the maximum room. The pipe's now popped out to the top. And in this position we gotta wiggle off the intercooler hose. This is not pretty. This is the small piece. Now we're gonna put in the silicone one. Better now as on the trail. It's now 4 hours later and 3 pair of gloves. I could get this thing back in. It's really tight. It worked with WD-40 as a lubrication, which is not the best thing to lube this, but it's in there. And now I'm gonna have to position the hose clamps. That was hard.
And I'm still here.
Okay, another 3.5 hours later, the hose clamps are on. We're gonna check that the hose clamps are seated correctly. While I was putting the hose clamps on, Robin forged this rose.
Yeah. You put it in the ground?
So is it for you?
No, probably. It's Mother's Day in a couple of days.
That's a nice rose.
Yeah, it's very good.
Good. So I got now a camera inserted here. And the idea is to look at the back side of the hose clamp right here to make sure it's not on the edge. And this is looking really good. And this is the other back side right here. There's also a lot of blue material. I'm convinced this is seating very well. Put this plastic piece here back in place. Now putting the heat shields back in. Okay, you gotta take your time. And don't bend anything. And there it is. It's in position. And this one gets closed up here. Copper paste on all of these bolts. Plenty of it. Any Land Rover dealership could do this. With the body off. Okay, last heat shield goes in place. There. See? We put copper paste onto all of these studs. Heat shields are back on. There. This is this nut back on. So these bolts back here were really difficult, but you can see we got them all back in. This one maneuvered in place and tight. So, good. Just so it's not rubbing. This is not so pretty. So we got these cables nicely routed, all perfectly where they belong. One is the ABS speed sensor, and the other one is the brake pad wear sensor. It's always good when you buy a new one to investigate that all those cables are in a good condition. Ground point here. The fender.
Okay, so there's one hidden behind. Good.
Forget to put the fuse back in. That one, right?
That one
So
down.
it's back in. The suspension is live again.
Ah,
Yeah.
it's lowering.
Don't get yourself pinched.
Yeah. 140.
Wow, that was a major undertaking. But we got it done. The intercooler hoses are new. And this car is ready for another 200,000 miles. Hopefully, yes. So, thanks for watching.
See you next Sunday.
Bye. Okay, check out what we just did. Okay, it was always difficult to get the spare wheel carrier unlatched because the latch is down here and you gotta bend down, you know. And so what we did, we extended this thing with a little rod up here with some hardware. And now there is a handle and it's easy to reach in here and open it. Yeah. And the handle is adjustable in any angle. So you can put it wherever you want it. And then close it. And it's easy to reach in. Open it. So just a little bit of extra hardware. Wirklich keine Lust.
Wo ist der Ball?
So you're happy with your new latch?
Oh, unbelievable, unbelievable.
Yeah?
Look at this.
Little science project. It looks nice too.
Looks very nice.
Yeah, nice dark black color. But when you have your bike on here, doesn't it stick out too far over to one side? But you need to have a bike with an upper frame rail. With a hardtail it works.
We had like, what do you call it?
Yes, that's right. We had for my Diamondback a bar you put between the seat post
Yeah.
and the
And I think we gave it
And
to
the
Ted
stem.
or somebody else.
Yes, we gave it away because this is also a neat solution.